Fatherhood, such an intricate topic with ample subjective interpretations. However, we are going to focus on the being a father aspect for today. I, regardless of the circumstances, strive to be a father to the best of my ability, even while being incarcerated. But before me arriving at this point of my life in such mindset, I encountered a lot of examples, some of them disappointing to mention a few. But let me take you back just a little bit to 1991. I was born to an alcoholic father, whose father was also an alcoholic and illiterate. This led my fatherly examples to be very warped and instinctive at a young age. My idea of fatherhood was that of a typical Mexican household: work, drink, and establish superiority in the household, and the children were the responsibility of the mother to raise, clothe, and discipline. My father has always been an aggressive and careless individual, which he mostly took out his anger and frustrations out on my mother, which caused her to project her anger and frustrations out on me. I know, the cycle, right? Which eventually caused me to be careless myself. But we're not there just yet. My father till this day has maintained a simple pattern: come to the United States, work, save money, maybe buy a car or a truck, and go back to Mexico to spend his riches. This caused him to be absent a lot while I was growing up. At the age of 9 years old, my mother left my father and got with a new man, whose fatherly energy was not much different compared to my father's own, because he too was an alcoholic. We were there with my three younger siblings and my mom for a couple of years, and at the age of 11, we moved to Los Angeles with my uncle Raymond. He would eventually become not the best, but certainly the closest example I had to a fatherly figure in my life. By the way, rest in peace, Uncle Raymond. Just like every human being, my uncle was also flawed, but he taught me very valuable lessons about family, money, and friends. Me, becoming a teenager and already carelessly growing up in the streets of Los Angeles, I kept seeking fatherly figures in the wrong places, which led me to eventually become part of a gang. By the time I was 19 years old, I had already experienced plenty of fatherly and unfatherly situations. My subjectivity to what fatherhood should or shouldn't be was already formulated in my head, but nothing could have prepared me for June 7 of 2011, the day I actually became a father myself, to José Guzmán III, because we all know the third is the charm. With my unpleasant but constructive experiences with what I thought fatherhood was, I believe I was ready to become a father. And when I held Mini-Me and laid him on my lap for the first time, my whole perspective on what I thought fatherhood was changed. I never before felt the energy flow through my body and a small still voice in the back of my head saying, "It is not about you anymore, it's all about him." It sent chills down my spine and eventually my whole entire body, and I was okay with that. 5 months after I witnessed my son being born, I was arrested, hoping that I would soon be cleared of any wrongdoing and have the opportunity of being home with my son to be the father I wish I had and always wanted. Unfortunately, I was faced with the reality of a conviction wrongfully obtained. Nevertheless, my intentions to be the best father I can be were never modified, even when my son's mother and I have had our differences to iron out. I have learned a lot about myself in the process: my childhood trauma, my fatherly mistakes made for myself and others, and since the circumstances have dictated me to be a partial father, I still strive not to cause my son more pain than what he has already endured, rather empower him to be mentally, emotionally, and physically ready for life and the adversities that he might face in the future. In fatherhood, we are prone to make mistakes, but we have the choice to make them and learn from them on our own, or learn from the mistakes that were made by the ones that came before us, so we can attain more wisdom and knowledge to pass on to the ones that are coming after us. Fatherhood will be a lifelong experience, so I recommend that you make it fun and pass it on. Thank you.